Welcome to the Grand Design series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 9th of May 2012, which is I think just over a year on from the end of the last part where we were putting this area together, and it's now up and running. And you can see we haven't got a full load of workers into this area here at the moment, but we are producing surpluses of clothes and food. I mean, I've got the potential to expand this area more should I need it, but at the moment I'm slightly embarrassed in the sense that I've now got surpluses of food and clothes, and to that end what I'm actually doing is what we've got here, and to that end what I'm doing is using these two food distribution ones to export the surpluses the opposite. So the surpluses of clothes are being exported or sent down to the central warehouse, where then I'm starting to export it. If I show you the economy, if I show you exports now, last month, oh, they're not working through just yet. Well, the food is, you can see the food is now starting to export, but we haven't quite got to the threshold yet to export the clothes. Not that it makes that much difference, because if I show you the income here, if I go back to last month, we made about 70 million a month at the moment, on top of all this expenses. And I did blow some money, because what I've done is I've bought another grain ship here for to support what they were going to be doing in this part, which is going to be our last major project of this series, for, well, several reasons. The first reason is that the early start DLC is just about to drop in about 4 or 5 days, so this series is coming to an end. And the other reason is that, as you can see here, I've now got to 155,000. And whilst I'm recording, the game is actually kind of feeling the strain. That's why we're going to be playing on normal speed rather than fast speed. And when we actually get down to designing our last big project, I'm going to have to pause the game to ensure things that's going to be working. But a little bit of an update of where we are now. What I've done here is I've just put in a rural brewery here producing alcohol, solely because I had an unemployment hotspot here, and it was actually dragging down the happiness. And I think I've kind of noticed that if you've got excess unemployment in an area now, especially at this level, and it goes on for a long time, you get increasing crime rate, and then the happiness starts to fall. So this is a little bit of make work for the employees in this area, producing alcohol. What that alcohol now is being fed into here, and you can see it's actually filled up here. So I've actually effectively stopped the import of alcohol from the main central storage area. And the other thing also is this has been set up, I think I've been set up to here. This distribution office has also been set to export the surplus. So we'll start exporting. I don't know if that's showing up on the exports at the moment. Not quite at the moment. I've only just done that recently. Now, the other big problem I've had is the horrendous crime rate in here. And what I had to do in the end is I just had to keep building police stations. So I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 police stations here. But you can see I've finally got the crime under control. But if I put the overlay on, what you will see, if I put that, it's this one, isn't it? I can always get the wrong one. If I put the crime overlay on, and I'm aware that you can't see the numbers, but like this building's got 6%, this one's got 7%, 5%. I think the general average in this whole area is still 5% crime. So I haven't, what I've done is I haven't actually switched these off yet. So there's still leaving nearly a full workforce in here, and I'm going to leave it on there until the crime rate is down to 2-3%. Now, another little problem I've got here is that I've got these ambulances stuck because I think they're trying to go to the private school here. And I think what's actually done is it's causing a little bit of confusion. I think if I can put that connector in, And I think it's this footpath here that's causing the problem. So I've actually scheduled these footpaths to be built, hoping that I can actually get rid of that. There's also a problem here, which I didn't notice, which is another reason for doing this, is the fact that this water substation is not connected to anything, so it can't be repaired. Now, the ambulances in themselves aren't a problem because you can just do Control H and send them back, but it's only a matter of time before they return. Now, if I was going to let this game run without any intervention, that would eventually become a problem because all the ambulances from the hospital would eventually pile up here. And I'll be completely upfront, I'm thinking about doing that as an experiment, but I'll be doing that once we've actually rounded up the last big project, which is going to be, I've got to find it on the map, sorry, it's going to be up over here. And I'm just going to let the game run. Now, what we're going to be doing is building two big chemical plants. So this is going to be more of a question of actually just seeing what these are like. Now, you can see these are really big plants, and they can produce 9.4 tons of chemicals, which if I build two of these, which is what I want to do, that will give me a production of 18, is it 18? Yeah, it'd be 8, what was it? Yeah, it'd be 18 or nearly 19 tons of chemicals per day. Now, if I show you the economic spread at the moment, and if we go to chemicals, you'll see at the moment industries consuming about 89 tons. It fluctuates 60 to 80 tons of things, but our production is short. So what that means is that if I put in two of these factories, that would in the long term, if we were going to carry on playing, solve our chemical production process. Now I'm just going to leave the game on pause now while I give you an update. Now obviously there's a lot of infrastructure to be built here. So, and of course, if I go back to the chemical industry, we've got to get gravel, crops, wood and oil and a heck of a lot of water into this chemical plant. So what I've done is a bit of prep work. I started laying out the expansion to this new oil field, which is up here. Then I realized that I could just as easily bring in the oil from here because there's a little bit of surplus oil here building up. So what we're going to be doing is taking the oil from here, but in the long term, for us to play on, we would probably connect in this oil field into a distribution system, which can then be used to move the oil around. Now, the gravel we're going to get from here, what I've got is two gravel quarries feeding into a single processing plant, because we won't be using the gravel anywhere else. And if I go back to the what we call it, you can see these together will produce 17 ton. We'll need what's that? 16.8 tons of gravel, and I think the quarries, if I've done my maths correctly, can produce not the quarry, the gravel processing can produce 27 tons of gravel. So these two quarries together should be able to produce enough gravel to keep everything going. The next dilemma was wood. I was going to put wood production up here, but then in a similar vein as what I was talking about is that I had a bit of unemployment. Let's just get rid of that overlay. It's just distracting. I had some unemployment here. This place was a bit of an unemployment hotspot. You can see that because of the low happiness here. So what I've done is I've put some wood production here. At the moment it's building up because there was no trees and the trees have got to grow. But I've also got wood production over here, which has got a surplus. So what we're going to do, so what I've done is thank you game, I'm going to start shipping the wood here. And then what we got is a short rail line here. I'm going to build a distribution office here, which is going to be doing the thingies. Ignore the signals. Just get these guys, give them a bit of a shove. because they can build the backtrack down this way. And you can see I've already built a big chunk of the railway line out this way to make the connection. I've also put a road over here to connect into there. And of course, what it's going to do is it's going to build these factories here. Now, these factories are going to produce a phenomenal amount of pollution. So it's 65 tons. Add the two together, you're talking about 130 tons of pollution. So the town that's going to service that chemical industry is going to be over here. And you can see I've already built a road connection in here. And I've got a provisional mud road here. And also I've started laying the track into here for the town. Now I probably will build the town off camera because we've laid out many towns, and I'm pretty sure most of you are pretty familiar with towns. But the interesting bit is going to be the actual chemical factories here. Now I'll be completely upfront, I haven't really thought about this very much. No, probably let me just look at what this thing is. I want the... Alright, we got that there. We got a rail connection there and the road connection there. So I want them side by side. If I flip you the other way and turn you round... No, that's the wrong way. If we put you that way, let me just... I think I will need I need to be facing in the direction of the rail line, which is coming in up there. I need to leave enough. I need to keep everything relatively compact, but at the same time, leave enough space. Where's the conveyor belts? There's so many connections on this thing. The conveyor's there. So if I can push you up, like say there, leave a space for a road to go between the aggregate store. Right, so if I put you there. Now the big thing that we've got to do to come in is we're going to need a silo. Now I don't want a massive silo, but I want a silo that will be big enough. Let me just see. I think we're come in here. Now I don't really want roads going around the top of the thing unless I have to. I think if we can put you there, we've got to put a road connection in. We just need to make sure we get the road connection in. Yeah, we can get the road connection coming down there because this has got this slightly horrendous one-way system. Although we're never going to be using trucks to take the crops away. We're just going to bring the crops in here on a two-way connection. And then if I get back to the big chemical plant again, where's the road connection? We've got to flip it that way. I need the aggregate store. Oops, that's the wrong way round. The aggregate store, that's the wrong way round. Let me just... It's trying to see where the aggregate store is. Oh, it's there. I think I'd like to do is shift this one up a little. No, actually, can we put you about there? I don't think the snapping is helping me that much. If I put it there, we can bring the roads round. We don't need the roads to get the workers in because we're going to bring the workers in by train. We've got the water connections. We've got the pipe. There's loads of pipe connections and stuff like that. I think if we put you there like that, you're angled wrong. Do that again. I want you to be angled. It doesn't have to be parallel. In fact, a slightly angle would make a difference. So I'll put you there. And then what we're going to need to do is bring the rail line in. And this is going to be the delivery for the crops, which is going to have to come all the way down from... That got 2 connections. Yes, that's good. If we put in the crossover there, that should be more than enough to accept that. Now we're going to be bringing the crops down from here. It's not that efficient. Where is it? We'll be bringing the crops in from here. I've bought another ship already to get that going. That ship was very expensive. Just to show you, this is these are Type 17s. If I show you the price, just make sure I don't actually buy it. It's a mod. Where is it? Show cargo ships. There it is. There cost me 567 million. So there's a good argument that if you're into really need ships, and this is something I need to remember for my next series. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but there will be a stronger shipping element in that series. If you're going to go right through to late game, you certainly need the ability to produce shipping. Right, so the next thing, everything gets just so expensive. I'll just remove you. I want to use this, these here. How long are these connections? Not that we're going to be needing long. That's 200 meters, so good. That's pretty good. So we're going to deliver the wood by rail. So we're going to need to come out here. I think I'd like this to be far enough away so that a crop train can queue there should it need to be. Oops, no, that's wrong. Didn't go over far enough. Let's remove that. You can run down here and run into there. Bit unhappy about. I'll be completely upfront. The game is doing a few odd things. Not sure if it's to do with the fact that so much is going on. This is not working. Yeah, I think it is because the population is so big now that the game is kind of causing a few problems. Let's see if we can get rid of you now. Yep, got it. And then what we'll do is we'll take off another line there. Run you to there. Run you down there. Into there. So what we're going to be doing is delivering the wood that way. I've kind of been thinking about chemicals. Well, what I want to do, now this may seem a little bit wacky. How can you put it? I'm going to need chemicals to get this working, because if we're going to build a water purification plant to produce the water. Now, again, if you actually look at this, this chemical plant, you see it needs 118 cubic meters of water. Now, the actual required water quality is, it's in here somewhere, is 67%. Now, technically, we could just bring the water in and actually just use it. But the problem's going to be is that if these produce a lot of pollution, they can pollute the water source. Now, one way is that we put the water over here and then pipe it all in. But given the amount of consumption, this really needs a separate water supply. So what I'm going to do is actually set it up so we're going to purify the water so that we can supply drinking water to this area for maximum production. That means that we're going to need chemicals for the water purification. The alternative is that we actually use gravel. Now, if I go to the water treatment plant, where is it? We go to water treatment plants. At the moment, the maximum capability we've got for these gravel-based water treatment plants is 132 cubic meters of water per day. Now, the output of this is each one of these needs 119. So this isn't going to be enough. So we're going to need a full-size water production. So what I'm going to do is we're going to come here. We're going to build a warehouse. Let me just see. I want the largest warehouse we've got. Oh, wow. That's no good. Oh, that's messed me up. Okay. I thought there was a chemical plant thing there. Right. Change of plan. I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put the... Now, I don't really want it there. Okay, I think we're gonna have to put it on this side here. No. This is what happens when you, because yeah, we're gonna put it over here. The trouble is the road connection is up there. Actually, we've got a road connection there. What I'm trying to do is get all the chemical output from here into a single unit. But I don't want it overcomplicated. Although we could use the output of one. What is the exterior storage of this? Let me just see. What is the interior storage is 45 tons of chemicals. Right. I have a plan. What we're going to do is we are going to create, see, because what I have is an idea for something else that I would like. We're going to build a large warehouse here, like that, and then we're going to put a cargo station. No, it doesn't feel right. Yeah, I've got a plan. We're going to put the warehouse, a large warehouse here. Apologies, I have to keep pausing. One, to think about what I'm actually doing, and two, to because I keep coughing at the moment. I think I'm getting a touch of allergies. Right, we're going to put a warehouse there. We're going to put cargo train station just there on that side. That will allow us to take the chemicals away. We are going to put in put a 6-point cargo station pickup here, and another one just here. These will use a distribution office to pick up the chemicals from here, take them to here with the road system, and then what we can do is run rail line out like that. This will take the chemicals away. You can come up to here, and I think the spacing will be good enough. There's no reason for the track to go back the other way, so we can lay in that track. This will take the chemicals away. Now comes the supplementary plan that I was thinking of, because of course if I was going to and I want to illustrate, I want to emphasize, I'm kind of thinking if I was going to be playing this on longer, which would mean that eventually we would want to stop kind of importing crops, which means we would need to get more into farming. And to do that, what I'm thinking of is a synthetic fertilizer factory. So we'd put maybe about here, we'd put a synthetic fertilizer factory there, and then we would put in, I think it would probably go the whole hog here, and put a fuel tank there. Now this fuel tank would need a pipeline to get to here, to actually, or would it be cheaper just to put a rail connection in? It might be cheaper just to put the rail connection in, isn't it? Just tidy these lines up, because we've already gone to the expense of laying this track. So what we do then is put in a fuel loading, unloading, just kind of keep it. Yeah, this would be the cheapest way to do it actually, both for electricity and also for supply. And then what we do is run this here. Now I accept completely that this is irrelevant to the fact that I know that the series is coming to an end, but part of me says that if I'm going to plan it, I might as well plan it properly. So we're just going to go there and just put that there. Just tidy this up a little bit like that. So to recap, what we got is this station here, which will allow us to bring in chemicals to prime the pump to get the water supply going to do it. I think we are going to use chemicals, and what we can do now is just create the road down through here, just to make sure that we've got the road supply there. We are going to need a cargo station. A cargo station in there. Remove that road so we can get a bit of build speed. Then we can just make sure we can, whoops, send a road through to there. Yep. Does the, yeah, this needs 15 cubic meters. I think this needs a better quality of water as well. Let me just check. Yeah, this requires 85% water, so and we can build the road out there. This road comes in here. We need to bring a road down from here like this down to here, and we got this area here. Now the next thing we're going to need is to see how we're going to get the workers in, because we've got everything now. I'm not going to do the water on camera, guys, because it's going to take a little while to do it, because we need to do the waste disposal, which means we're going to have to kind of put the waste disposal here. In fact, I've just realized that we've got I need to remember that this road will need a connection. In fact, yeah, so this will have to come down and connect to something like that, and then what we're going to need here is this. We've got footpath connections there, and we would have to do some kind of footpath connection over once the road is built for that. So what we're looking at is a passenger train drop off somewhere. Is that too small, or should we go something a bit bigger? That's a metro, sorry. What's this one? I think we'll go for size here. Now, if I bring the train station in really close, like that, there. We'll bring the road round and let it run through across the front like this. Say something like that. This can come there. We may need a road this way, so we'll just bring this road out. I think my instinct is for that to go to there. And then I think I keep building asphalt footpaths with. Let me just see. It's 145. That's 375. So that might be a bit of a stretch, although they are going round that way. Get to there. We could come out that way. We don't need workers here, but we will need workers here. So probably actually it might be easier to do that road connection there. Take you out like that. Bring this road across like that. That would come there. We can remove this road connection like that. Actually, it's going to be a problem here, isn't there? Because this would be crossing the tracks. Okay, let me just change this again. I think we can fiddle getting the workers into there. So I think this is probably the bigger concern. So if I put the train platform about there, like that, and then move the footpath like that, and then we could sneak a road connection from there to there. Now, strictly speaking, we probably don't need that road because we're not going to have much traffic here because one thing we haven't put in is the conveyors, have we? Bit of a fail here. Yeah, that's going to overlap, isn't it? Right, I've forgotten the conveyors, so we may have to do some adjustments here. Let me just, I think we're going to use my favorites. The conveyor pipelines with where's the conveyor connection? Oh, it's there. So you're gonna need, okay, we may have to push the road out a little bit. This road is in the wrong place. Yep, got completely all about conveyors. Just get you out the way. We'll put a, oops. Right, we've got a conveyor connection there we can use. So what we need is one here. We've got a conveyor connection there, conveyor connection there. So if we put you out to there, I think to keep it tidy, we'll just do that. I know it's kind of a little bit of overkill, but and then you can come there. Actually, if I could get you to go to there, to there, to there, like that. That makes everything look a little bit neater. You can come, bring you in a little bit closer to the conveyors and run you to there. You can come out that way. These connections are quite important. Of course, we're going to need this connection as well to come down. So that gives us the conveyor connection. That gives us that bit there. I'm pretty sure, let me just measure the distance. Cancel that. I mean, yeah, it's 314. We can get that in there. If necessary, we can use the gazebo trick or the fountains. We can put fountains here. So we've now got this here. And of course, what we're going to need to do is now think about our town center now. Just to measure the distance, because we got, this is going to be Stinksville, because it's going to be really, really bad. So we need to be, yeah, we got 2 kilometers to the edge of there. So what I'm going to do is, we got the road there. This is the edge of the town. So, and I mean, truthfully, it doesn't really make that much difference if it, what we're going to do is bring a great big road out here. I'm going to create a central crossroads here, like that. So that's going to come in this way. We'll accept that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the railway station for the pickup right smack bang in the middle of town. So, oops, no, not that. Passenger train. We're going to go the full 900. We're going to shove you in the right smack bang in the center of town. Because actually, what's the workforce? I haven't even considered the workforce. I knew it'd be big. Yeah, we're going to need to be able to ship 1,400 people per day. Multiply that by 3. That's 4,200 workers to keep that those 2 factories going, plus the ancillary stuff, and also the, I don't think the synthetic fertilizer there, that's peanuts. So we're going to need a fairly serious rail connection here. So we're going to have to come out here. We're going to have to, trouble is how are we going to bridge this area? In fact, probably would have to bring the railway up here. And can we get across here with a rail bridge? We don't need to worry too much about height. So if we can put you there, run you straight up into there, put a connection there, because we're going to need train sets. It's going to tap up, great. Can I get, right, we're going to have to move the bridges a little bit so we can get around the marshes. Actually, can I? No, I think we're go straight across like that. Curve out. Oops. Curve round the marsh like that. Where's the where we got to get to. We got to get to there. So we're gonna need to do that there. Curve this round. If we stay close to the edge of the there. Now I don't want this to have any association whatsoever with the what we call it, with the other commercial line. So we can accept that. We are going to need to put an end connection in to space the train sets. So we're going to need to think about that. We just tidy this up, make sure it's all connected. So actually, one thing that's just occurred to me is, will we need a power supply here? Where's the nearest power transformer? Yeah, we may have a problem with power out here. Trying to think where I could put it. This is already built. We can put it on this line actually. We'll just have to budget from here. Yeah, I think we and we are going to need a lot of power out here anyway, so we're going to put a rail connection in about there. Shove you back that way. Pick that up. Let's make sure. I don't want to repeat the mistake I made pretty early in the game with these connections. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about that, where I had to actually go back to normal mode to solve the problem because I wasn't able to delete the tracks. Yeah, that's a bit tidy. And what we can do is I'll just straighten that up a bit. We don't need a fancy road. We're going to need a fire station as well out here. This can cross here and go to there. Actually, what we'll do is we'll hook you to there and then upgrade that. Remove that. Yeah, we're going to need a fire station here. In fact, probably what we're going to need here is a pretty serious fire station. In fact, I'm going to do it while I'm thinking about it. Got that there. We got this open space here, which we're probably going to need for water, but I think we're going to, well, we can work around the water plant. Actually, this would be a good place for the fire station, because what I want to do is put the fire station there. We're going to need to get fuel out. We can get fuel from over there, so we don't need to worry about fuel. But what I do want is we're going to put a, actually if we put it that way, we're going to need a helicopter, because we'll cover this area. We are going to need to be serious about fire coverage, because bear in mind we've got a rail distribution office here all out on its own being built. Yeah, power wise, I've actually already brought the power down to here to power this area. So just to give you an update, our power station up here now, I'm now using, I show you here, I'm now using all the connections off the power station. So this area here is going to be powered by its own 18 megawatt power cable, but partly because, again, if I show the fossil fuels, you can see that this actually, each one of these has a circuit breaker of 3.3 megawatts. So these two buildings alone are going to draw about 6 megawatts at full capacity. The next thing, we're going to be a right-hand drive. So the next thing I want to do is put in a end station. Where's the train end station? I'm going to put an end station in here because the line's going to be. Oops, thank you again. Put you there. What's gone? What's happened there? Don't like that. Always very suspicious when the track disappears underground. Okay, we'll just tidy this up a bit. Yeah, so this end station will come in here. We'll trim that out. Now, the other thing I'm going to need to do, and we're going to need to put it in here, is a, what we call it. We're going to need to put a depot in here for the train sets. So we're going to find the train depot. I think we can put the train depot a bit that way. And I think if we can put you way out. Because we're going to have to we've got a rail line there, actually. I think we'll bring the town's going to be there. We could that's going to be a bit too close. We're going to come here. This can go this way. I'm going to keep it simple because we're not. Bring you back. Actually, strictly speaking, this is overcomplicated. We don't need this. The trains can. That should be sufficient. Just need one back and one out to allow the maintenance. Now the other thing I'm going to do is exactly what I've done with my other major town. So the next thing we're going to do is put in the very big large shopping centre in the centre here. And I'm going to do exactly what I've done before. We're going to come here. We're going to put a warehouse here. Actually, a bit that way round. Actually, a bit that way round. Now, this is going to be a ultra modern town. It's not going to be anything special, and we're going to do a cargo station come in a bit like that, and then we're going to put a small old coal storage, put you about there. Oh, my rail is a little bit icky. That's okay. That'll teach me to pre-build the track, won't it? So that will come there on an extended line. Well, if we can get a crossover there, that's good. That will give us the connection here to do deliveries. We are going to need an open hole. We're going to need an open store here as well. Small open store, which I keep forgetting about, but it actually, yeah, we can put you there coming out this way, because we're going to need that to deliver the stuff that we're going to need to do the repair. That's the point. This is going to be a long way away. Let me just see. It might reach if we put it to 3,500. We may get the we will need vehicle repair out here as well, so that's something we're going to need to consider. What I will do is we've got to come off here. I don't want to. No, it's only what we've got here is only really we've got to get to there to deliver stuff, but we only need a single line track, don't we? Let me just think. Actually, if I come off here like that, run you. I mean, although to be honest, the expense isn't that important, to be honest. You can run around the back here. Leave plenty of space for buildings. Yeah, we'll just run a double track in and out from here. I mean, it's going to be expensive to build, but who cares? Because basically all this is going to be doing is delivering trains. I could do it with a single track, but I mean, technically I don't really need a crossover. Don't think I'll bother, because the connection will be there. Actually, I think this is overkill, isn't it? Let me just take that out like that. This is just way over the top. Let me just remove that and that. We push the crossover when we got basically loads of track to play with, so we put you there. That gives us the crossover, and then what I can do then is run track round there into there like that. Give enough distance for the train set. That can run there. Then technically I don't need two tracks out to here, because the only vehicles that should be moving along here will be what we call it, trains doing deliveries. So just to kind of make it a little bit more complete, we can do something like that, and then just tidy up this bits here like that. Yeah, we can come off here into here, maybe extend that a little bit, so that if there's a train has to wait on the train set or something has to wait, it won't obstruct the deliveries to the town. So just do that. So this can come off and on, then this can be a single line track to here to deliver the train sets, which we need to come to here. This road probably doesn't need to come out like that. It probably just needs to come out like that. That gives us plenty of space to put in our facilities. We got the central bus station, train station going out to there. We won't need a connection through to there. The advantage of doing this is that what I can do now is, well, the trains, these guys are doing this already. They need to electrify these lines anyway. But they can start building out this way. And then I can bring the other rail construction office down to start building this area here. Thank you, game. And I think just I'm aware time is pushing on, so just to finish this video off, what we're going to do is just plan. We're going to go for, because there's going to be no through traffic. This is going to be a dead end town. There's no going to be no like going off anywhere else, and the only industry that these guys are going to be doing is the chemical industry. So what we'll do is we'll put the hospital in. Put you. No, flip it. Put the hospital there. Now this is going to be a pretty big town in its own right. So my instinct is we're going to need a. We don't need. I think just put a technical university. Do I need a technical university in the center? No, not really, do I? I think what we will do is what we normally do. Put the indoor swimming pool in the center, because that creates a central kind of bit of community here. Then of course what we will need is a cinema. I think probably put the cinema, actually if I put the cinema about there next to the train station, we can put pedestrian link through, and then what that will do is people who can get to there can then get to the cinema, even if they're a bit stretched. So that is the area there. Obviously we're going to bring in rings of residences. What we'll probably do, just to give you an example of what we're going to build, I'm not going to play with use the Dnieper flats. I think these high volume buildings are more trouble than they're worth. I actually quite like these buildings, but what we could do just is we could actually use some of these flats, which trouble with these is, oh no, this one doesn't have, maybe we'll build some flats which from actually the base game. What else have we got here? 210, 145. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll build this town with the high-end kind of prefab buildings which are available in the base game. It's a long time since I've used them, so maybe just part of the process that we'll do is we'll just build the town up like this. Anyway, I think I'm running out of time on this video. Let me just check. In fact, I've gone over top on this video, so this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. What I will do off camera is the detail work for both the town and the chemical industry here. I'll put the water supplies in and all the other bump that needs to be done, and then hopefully I'll push through. So ideally what I'd like to do is come back when a lot of this is actually really finished, because technically I'm recording this on the 18th, so I've only got 4 days in real life to get this all done and built. And obviously the focus is going to be very much on getting all this built in so we can see it working in what would be the final part of the series. And just to give you a bit of a heads up for that is that once we got it all working, I intend to do an overview video about how the whole economy was built, what worked, what didn't work. And the other thing I'm considering is just to let the game run and see how quickly the economy falls apart. But that's all dependent on time. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.